You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 11 of the Battered Heat Fans Podcast. I'm your Daniel, alongside me, as always, Mr. Daniel Solana. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. I have two words for you. Nikola Jovic. Wow, what a game. We've been waiting for him. Not only that, but we talked a little bit of smack on him in the last pod. And he
Everybody
came
has.
out. I know, but he came out balling last night. I mean, that's the type of Nico that I want to see going forward, Danny.
I think that's what everybody wants to see. The thing is, I don't want to get too excited after one game because I feel like you've been waiting for it. This is the 10th game of the season. This is by far and away the best performance. But I don't want to get overhyped. And then what I found interesting that I started seeing a lot of quotes in the post game about how everybody kind of knows that he gets down on himself. And at one point he said, "Oof, man, I was tired, but I didn't want to get taken out of the game, so I just stayed quiet about it." I feel like when you say stuff like that, I don't know. We'll see. I want to be positive. But yeah, those quotes from Powell and then him himself saying that he was kind of tired. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, definitely great performance. I definitely think that he's on the way up, right? You don't give him that type of contract unless you see the potential. And I feel like the Heat, they've had their miscues here, right, with Tyler Johnson and some other weird contracts. I think that he have a good eye for talent. So I'm not going to question them. We just have to be patient with him.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for him last night in terms of what we saw that was different than the prior 9 games was the fact that he was aggressive. He was extremely aggressive. He was driving to the basket. He was looking for his own shot, and he didn't settle for 3-pointers except for that one 3-pointer that he took with 40 seconds left. That it was like 27 feet away from the basket, and he airballed. But other than that, he was looking for his shot in the paint. The Heat had a season high, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 74 or 76 points in the paint last night. And look, he was super key to Miami winning last night, and I just hope he continues on this tear, because for the Heat, it's exactly what they need. They need somebody to step up every single game, and he was the guy that stepped up last night.
Last night was a track meet. It was fun. I didn't realize because I knew that the Blazers were playing well. I knew that they were the only team that beat the Thunder. So there's got to be something to it. I knew that after Chauncey Billups got arrested, right? Because he's in that whole drama with the betting along with Terry Rozier. So Thiago Splitter's been coaching, and I know that since he's been in charge, they've been doing well. I think they're like 5-2, something like that after yesterday. But I didn't realize that they were running. And their pace was, I think they might be number 1 or 2 in the league. So it showed because it was a fun game to watch. And the way the game started yesterday was kind of rough. I think we missed the 13 or 14 of our first 15 shots, something crazy like that.
They went 1 for 15. 1 for 15.
Okay. So we missed 14 of our first 15. Davion Mitchell hit that 3, and then we went just completely cold. But you want to go cold early in the game. They battled back. And by halftime, it was a game again. But all in all, I think it's a gritty performance just because back-to-back, second game of a back-to-back, the Blazers had been rested, even though they're traveling across the country. They had been rested because they didn't play the night before. And you're playing without Bam and Hero. Now, I think this is what the kind of the main point here. We're 10 games in. We've been averaging 130 some odd points, it feels like, without Hero, which is probably our best scorer. And now 2 games in a row. And I get that beating the Hornets, we got lucky that LaMelo Ball wasn't playing. The Hornets are a soft opponent. We're back at home without Bam. But beating both these teams back-to-back nights without Bam and Hero, this team is for real. The depth is there. And somebody goes down, you could put somebody else in, and somebody else was. My favorite thing about this team is that they're not relying on that one person. It's not, oh man, Bam's out. Oh no, Tyler's out. All right, Norman Powell, you got to put up 40 tonight. It's not that. It's let's keep playing in the flow of the offense, and everybody's gonna get their chance. And every night, somebody different might step up, like last night with Nikola. And I think that's my favorite part of this team, and why I think this team is gonna be dangerous, because anybody can get you any night.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, as we've mentioned every single episode, and we're now 11 episodes in, 10-10 is the goal in the first 20 games. They're now more than half the way there with 6 wins, 4 losses. Obviously, we have some big games coming up. We have back-to-backs against the Knicks, back-to-backs against Cleveland. That's going to be a very rough stretch. And then, if I'm not mistaken, you have Milwaukee within there somewhere. So the next 5-6 games, Danny, are going to really give us a better idea of where this team is in the Eastern Conference and if they can really, really compete. Look, I know they beat the Knicks already once, but it's going to be tough. It could be without Bam. It could be, again, this time without Bam. And that's going to be rough if they have to play without Bam because they have Cat and you know how good he is. So
and Mitchell Robinson.
And Mitchell Robinson. So overall, I think we are ecstatic about where this team is going. We love the pace. We love the fact that anybody can step up on any given day. And the fact that the bench, Danny, the bench is so huge for this team, right? You had Jaime Jaquez leading the bench over the first 10 games. Now you had Nikola Jovic with those 29 points. And Jaime Jaquez almost got a triple-double, 14 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean,
Dude,
Drew Smith, 13 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, another player who stepped up. It's that second unit, man. That second unit is so good, and they're so aggressive. Just love it, man.
I was gonna say something, but then you brought up Jaime, and it gave me like little hard eyes. So I completely forgot what I was gonna say before. So because I forgot what I was gonna say before, I'll stick to the Jaime point. Jaime Jaquez, I'm falling in love with this guy because I feel like when he has the ball in his hands, I just expect something good to happen. He's gonna get to the rim and score. He's gonna take it to the rim, get fouled. He'll dump it off to whether it be Khalil Ware standing at the dunker spot or he'll dish it out to somebody and get a good open 3. I just expect that when Jaime has the ball, something good's about to happen. And I understand when I do analogies on podcasts, people like take me very literal, so I have to be careful. But the first thing that came to my mind, and again, I'm not comparing the two, but Jimmy Butler in the playoffs, late game, you knew like something good's gonna happen. Like you put playoff Jimmy late in the fourth quarter, and he's gonna do something. Something good's gonna happen. And Jaime, whenever Jaime touches the ball, something good's gonna happen. And man, Jaime is just playing out of this world. And again, I said it, and I think a lot of people are saying it at this point. 6th man of the year consideration, and if he keeps playing like this, probably that and most improved player of the year.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you really have to commend him on what he did in the offseason, right? He went back to work. He went back to the gym. He practiced all summer, and he really put himself in the right condition to confront this season. And look, I mean, hats off to him. It's really, really paying off. We've seen it in the first 10 games. He's averaging very, very good numbers all across the board, not just in points, but also in rebounds, in assists. And then also in the categories that they don't track is where he's making huge strides in pushing the ball, being the anchor of that second unit. And like you said, every time he has the ball in his hands, you feel like something good is about to happen, whether it's a good assist, whether it's an and one, whether it's a 3-pointer, it doesn't matter, but you just feel comfortable when the ball is in Jaime Jaquez's hands and you're okay with him being the playmaker, not only on that second unit, but at the end of the game, because he was in there at the end of the game yesterday when it was crunch time minutes, and he played fantastic, especially coming off of a sprained ankle. Let's mention that too. Spo, I just read his report this morning. He wasn't cleared at 3 p.m. and he had treatment done and all that. And then finally, after the shoot around is when he got cleared. So my hat's off goes to Jaime Jaquez for having the sack to go and play that game yesterday.
I wish somebody would drop some intel, like, oh, the Heat are not going to trade. Like, he's untouchable. So I can just go buy that jersey. That's the only reason I don't buy it, because I'm scared that he's going to be that trading chip, right? Because he's going to be what people ask for at this point, right? Yeah, people are going to want the Dame package, right? Or the, who else was it? Or the KD package. Was it Jaime, Nico? Who were we on? Khalil Ware?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be traded. I think he's a very key piece to this team. I think if we do have a trade, and I know we're gonna talk about it in another episode, but if we do have a trade, and like everybody is saying with John Morant, I think the key piece to go there would be Tyler Hero. And from what I've heard, it would be an expiring contract in Terry Rozier and possibly a first-round pick. So I think, Danny, I think you're safe for now. But this is the NBA; it's a business. So
Yeah, I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off because I, I've had it done to me too many times. I started buying look, this is a Pat Riley jersey. Like I started getting scared to buy player jerseys now. All right, Andrew Wiggins, 15 points, 5 for 14, 2 for 8 from 3, and kind of that's the 2 for 8 from 3 is where I kind of wanted to focus in on. This game kind of played out shooting wise like the Laker game. Remember how bad we shot that Laker game? We kind of felt like, oh, we shot really bad. That's why we lost. And then the Denver game, the way we got out rebounded, this game. They had 22 offensive rebounds. The Nuggets also had 22 offensive rebounds against us. I remember we pointed like, you can't have another team give them 22 extra possessions and expect to win. You can't shoot that bad like we did against the Lakers and expect to win. But yet here we are. We got out rebounded. We gave up 22 offensive rebounds. We shot poorly from 3. We shot 28% from 3. We were 10 for 35. And despite all those things, missing Hero, missing Ben, we still found a way to win against the good Blazers team. This team is good. It's for real. It's for real. And being able to score this many points when you're shooting poorly and you're giving the other team extra possessions just goes to tell you the Heat are starting to kind of put it together 10 games in.
No doubt. But you have to point at some other stats as well, right, Danny? Yes, they got out rebounded by 10, but they had 17 steals. 17 steals. That is an outrageous number. They forced Portland to commit 20 turnovers. Oh yeah. And then, like I mentioned earlier, 74 points in the paint. 70, which is very different from what we've seen this Heat team this year. Usually they're lighting it up from 3, not so much in the paint, especially when you don't have Bam in there, who's your most consistent big man around the rim. And so you got to point at that. I mean, they took 36 free throws, Danny. They still put up 96 field goal attempts.
Yeah.
And you're saying that they didn't shoot that great, and they still shot 51%. So it's crazy.
Well, from 3, but yeah.
Well, from 3, yeah, but overall they shot 51%. You know. So I think this team was fantastic yesterday, even though they got out rebounded. And absolutely, you cannot expect to give up 22 offensive rebounds and win the game. The fact that they did proves, like you said, that this team is real.
Yeah. Davion Mitchell, 11 points, 8 assists, 5 steals, only 1 turnover. He's worked himself into a permanent starting role, in my opinion. I can't imagine you taking him out of the starting lineup. Pelle Larsson, 16 points, 5 assists. You already brought up the Jaime Jaquez with almost another triple-double. Or he still hasn't gotten one. And then the steady hand, Norman Powell, not the best shooting night for him, but not only did he get 22 points, he hit you with the Antoine Walker shimmy at one point, which was really fun to watch. Norman Powell's just loving the culture. Norman Powell, I you know what? I really do believe him when he says that he always wanted to be a Heat. I don't know why. When I see him and he says it, I believe it because he fits the mold. I think that he is a quintessential Miami Heat player, and I'm really enjoying watching him out there also.
No doubt. And I want to also bring up, I forgot to bring up when we talked about Wiggins, huge three-pointer at the end of the game. Clutch three-pointer to basically put the game up to 5 points and out of reach, a 2-possession game within a minute and a half, 2 minutes left. And yeah, where was this guy last year, Danny? Where was this guy? Because he's a completely different Drew Wiggins this year than he was when he came to the Heat. Obviously, he had a full offseason and a full training camp with the Heat so that he could get more accustomed to what they're trying to run. But I feel like this offense this year fits his game more than what we were running last year. And he's shown it this year because he's been very, very good in clutch minutes.
No, and it wasn't his best offensive game yesterday, but like we said it, and I remember at one point I was keeping track in my head, and I lost track. I remember it was the Magic at one point, and then it was a couple of other games where he hit those clutch threes, whether it be in the last 2 minutes, and he takes them and he's making them. Like those 3-point shots that he makes in the clutch, they're going in. So shout out to Andrew Wiggins for showing up big, because I remember that was the one thing that I said. Somebody called me out in the comments earlier. By the way, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. I keep forgetting to say at the beginning of the show, we appreciate everybody supporting. We were 11 episodes in, almost at 300 subs, and we appreciate everybody that's taking the time to support and follow. Yeah, man, I remember somebody commenting like, "Hey, man, talking crap about Andrew Wiggins isn't the way to go." I wasn't talking crap about him. I just didn't trust him in the clutch, but he shut me the hell up because he keeps showing up in the clutch. So shout out to Andrew Wiggins. So like you were talking about, the next 5 games, Cleveland twice, both at home. You got the Knicks home and away, actually away first and then home, and then you got the Golden State Warriors. Jimmy Butler might be back. Those 5 games, specifically the first 4, the Cleveland Cavs and the Knicks, without Bam, those are going to be very difficult. The Cleveland Cavs with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, 2 big bodies. Khalil Ware, although he's, I think we're starting to temper expectation, and we're just satisfied with the, 8 points, give me 10 rebounds, and let's call it a day. It's going to be very tough if Bam can't come back for any of those games. And then the Knicks with with Carl Anthony Towns. I don't know why I thought Cat Williams.
He is. I mean, he doesn't look like him, but he's kind of he's kind of a comedian. He's kind of a comedian like Cat Williams. So
he got that voice. You see how people clown on him in New York, because I listen to some New York sports radio. People clown on him, like his personality. So Cat and then Mitchell Robinson, they're I think top 3 or 4 in the league in rebounding and offensive rebounding. So those are, if Bam doesn't come back for those 4 games, it's going to be some tough games. But we'll know where this team is after those 4 games as far as the Eastern stands, because those are probably the top 2 teams in the East. So it's going to be interesting.
It will. It's going to be interesting. I know you and I will be there on Wednesday when the Heat face the Cavs for the second time. Hopefully,
for Feist Night.
That's right. And it's going to be black, right? Is that not it?
Yeah.
Is that what? Yeah. That's what you tweeted. It's going to be black. Are you happy about that? Are you not? I know your favorite one was the pink one, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Maybe blue one.
Sorry,
I would like to see the pink, because we barely saw it, because they brought it in when they were doing that earned. They had like an earned thing where, like, if you made the playoffs last year, you got an extra jersey, and I think they wasted away that pink jersey on that because they only wore it a handful of times, if that. But yeah, the black. I love the black jersey, but the baby blue one was my favorite. But the black one was the one that Dwayne Wade got to wear. I don't know if you remember when he hit that game winner against the Golden State Warriors, that random one-handed step it back.
Of course, I was there. I was there for that game. I was there.
Yeah.
It was a crazy game, man.
Yeah, man. So that's gonna be fun. Big game against the Cavs. So we'll see. And if you haven't already, check out the tickets for games. This like on Monday.
$10.
Yeah, $10. 400 section, but still you can get into the arena, watch the games, experience the game. $10, 400 section or not.
Yeah,
that's a great price.
Buy your $10 tickets. Hit me up in the comments, and I'll sneak you down to the 100 level. No problem.
You can do that too. Let me tell you something. There were a few empty seats in the 100 level on Friday night against the Hornets, which I guess it's the Hornets. So whatever.
I mean, look. I'll tell you one thing. I'll reserve the couple seats that are empty around me for you and your fam if you want to come down, or maybe if your son wants to come down. But everybody else, after I get Danny accommodated in the 100s, I promise I'll do my best to accommodate all of you in the 100s as well.
Yeah. All right. So good start so far. We're 10 games in. I feel like it's been a really good start to the season, despite a rough West Coast road trip. And things don't get any easier, but this team has been fun. Before you watched the regular season and you knew that Jimmy wouldn't take it seriously, and it was almost like, can we just get to the playoffs already, right? Because that's when it gets fun. But 10 games in, and I'm having a great time. Any final words, Solano?
No, man, I'm having just as good a time as you, but things are starting to get serious now. In the next 5 games, you play very, very good teams, and look, if they can win 4 of the next 10 games, will be exactly where we've been at, talking about 10-10 after the first 20 games. But Danny, what if they go 12-8, 13-7,
I know,
14-6?
You don't want to hear me, because when I get excited, you don't want to hear me, because I just start talking nonsense. So we don't want to get there. Let's
we're gonna have cocky Heat fan on this show.
Let's go. All right. So if you're listening on audio, appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us a comment and 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will be back on Monday, possibly talking a little Ja Morant, maybe. So until the next one, have a good one.